There's some consensus among economists that the Reserve Bank's hands are tied when it comes to decision on interest rates. Analysts agree that the Monetary Policy Committee will have no choice but to hike the repo rate this afternoon by between 50 and 75 basis points. This is due to inflation that's remained above the central bank's target range of between 3 and 6%, despite a 0.2% drop in August consumer price inflation, which came in at 7.6%. Let's talk about these interest rate hikes then that are expecting to be announced today. We're joined by Daphne Rampersad from Liberty to talk about the impact on our retirement savings. Daphne, welcome to Daytime Update. What has been the impact so far of these rates announcements?
So they will formally make a rate announcement later this afternoon, but it's highly anticipated that we're going to see a rate hike of between 50 and 75 bips. I think that will come of little surprise to consumers and business at large, purely because, yes, at the back of yesterday's inflation numbers. So even though it did decrease from July at 7.6, like you mentioned, it's still pretty high. And considering the prime objective of the MPC committee is to maintain price stability within South Africa, there will be, today's possibly and very much anticipated hike, but also future hikes into next year as well.
And which way do you think that'll swing people's retirement savings? Because it will not be the first hike already. We are in an upward cycle, and as you yourself have just indicated, it's not likely to end anytime soon.
Yeah, so Kenyako has, and Governor Kenyako has little choice in with the rate hike, right? His main reason for it is to support a weakening rand, as well as to control inflation. So how that impacts on retirement savings. So if you take a step backwards, what exactly is retirement savings? It's basically a plan that's put together to support your income at retirement, as well as to ensure that your dreams, goals are fulfilled, and you ultimately lead the life you want to live. Now, retirement or interest rates, whether it increases or decreases, any fluctuation in interest rate will have an impact on your retirement savings. But what's important is it really depends on your plan. Like with any retirement plan, it's very individualistic. It depends on your age, your target retirement date, your goals, as well as your risk tolerance. So what's very important, there's 3 key guidelines when looking at retirement savings and how interest rates will affect it. The one is be patient. Interest rate changes, be it an increase or a decrease, will not take effect into your retirement portfolio immediately. It may take months or even up to a year. So don't be hasty. And if you're still uncomfortable, chat to your financial advisor to make sense of it all. So be patient. Number 2 is consider your timeline. So interest rate changes will affect you more if you're closer to retirement. So, if interest rates increase today, you'll see that it will increase bond yields. It'll have a significant impact on your savings account, and that's great if you're close to retirement. But the further away you're from retirement, again, you should not be hasty with those decisions. So 2, consider your timeline. And then lastly, you should really understand volatility and why it's important to diversify. Because if you've got a mix of different assets in your retirement portfolio, and by that I mean equities or shares, bonds or cash, it will partially hedge you against interest rate movements. So it's really about having a diversified portfolio to protect you.
And are we able to compare at this point if things were better at that retirement investment level or savings level for people in the not post-COVID, because it's still an issue, but now versus around 2020, 2021?
Yeah, so if the rates go up today, which they pretty much anticipate to do, we'll be right back at 2020 interest rate levels. So I think that research isn't, or we aren't really ready to compare that yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be a similar situation.
Daphne Rampersad, good to have your time. Thank you, ma'am.